Okay, so this is the bladder press I use. This is the bladder itself. It fills with water, and of course it expands outwards. When that's happening, this is in place, stainless steel mesh. There's also this nylon bag that sits down. It's a little bit finer. The idea is the apple material can't pass through it, but of course the liquid, the juice can. And so this fits down inside here, right to the bottom. Can't be any gaps at the bottom. Has to go cover every spot. Then we can start putting the apple must in there, and then we fill the bladder with water. This is the hose. Hook it up to our water line on this thing. There we go. Pressure gauge on there lets us know how much pressure we're pushing with. It's just regular mains water pressure, but we'll get up to over 100 psi, no problem. And there's a bleed-off valve to suddenly release all the pressure when you're done, or if you have an emergency, or if you just want to cut it back. And then, of course, the juice, as it's coming out, we'll actually see it running down the sides. It collects in the trough all around here. It's all sloped this way. It comes out, and it runs out right here, and we collect it in a bucket. Cider is basically, wine with apples, and our juice is gonna be sulfited, so everything should be clean. That's really important, but it's not necessary to, sterilize a lot of stuff at this point in the process. So I don't mind. It's non-issue using your hands for this kind of thing. So I'm kind of gonna button up the press a little bit now, get it all ready for pressing. Some kinds of apples you often find want to escape from the cloth and from the stainless mesh. So there's different techniques you can use. You can actually even add things like rice hulls. I've never done it, but other sort of solid material that's pretty inert that can form a kind of a matrix that stops the really gooey apple must from coming out, escaping. But like I said, I've never actually had to do that. So basically the cloth is all nice and tight at the top. The mushed up apple is a little ways down, the edges there. That's good enough, Top goes down, fit it into place, and make sure it's good and tight. Now the way this thing works is the bladder now doesn't actually really have more than a bit of water in it. So first, we run the water into the bladder, and we're slowly filling it up, pushing the air out. So this valve here, we undo, and it's going to shoot some water out once the water comes up and has pushed all the air out. As soon as that happens, we shut this thing off, and then we just wait, and it slowly presses. Slowly, we can increase the water pressure, but you don't want to go too fast. You actually want to go kind of slowly at first. It's like, it's hard to explain, like a lot of things. If you go too quickly, first of all, you could, again, as I've talked about, you could shoot some of the crushed apple out. But more than that, also, you can kind of plug up this actual filter matrix, and so there may be more liquid, but has a harder time getting out because you forced a lot of solids, dried them out on the edges, So it's important to go slower. This valve here is basically the water that I've just got running now into the bladder is mostly just running out on the floor. Now I'm going to shut this off. Boom. Now the water's going in and slowly filling the bladder, and we're watching. In a few seconds, hopefully, we'll see some water come out the top. Means all the air has been evacuated. I'll button it up, screw it down, and then we'll just slowly see the juice coming out of the press. There we go. Yeah, we don't want that water to mix with our fine apple juice. All right, let's do a little quality control. It looks pretty nice. Sweet and a little bit tannic. A little bit astringent, which is really nice. That's going to be beautiful cider. You actually feel it. It's almost syrupy. All right, so right now it's just starting to shoot out, escape a little bit from the sides of this filter. So I'm actually going to drop the pressure a little bit. It's going a little fast. And I'm also going to put a bag over this so everything that shoots out hits the bag and then drains into the trough. But first I need to open this valve a little bit, because as I go for the bag, it's all going to be escaping, and I sure don't want that. This is what we do. This is exactly what this is meant for. And you'll start to hear it hitting the insides of the bag when we crank the pressure up in a few minutes. And a lot of apples don't do this. A lot of apples just won't try and escape at all. The issue is obviously this particular apple crushed up has a consistency that's finer and mushier and will fire through there. So now I can close this valve again, get the pressure back basically where I want it. But first, I'm just gonna take it back a little, still let it run a little bit, because as I said, I want to let our pressure build gently, and that's what it's doing. So we're gonna run up to about 100 psi up here. I mean, the safety valve tends to break it at about 75 psi, but I'll jam that safety valve and just get a little more pressure out of it to get a little bit more juice. All right, so I got my wine thief, cider thief here, a little vial. I can take a sample, and I'm going to sample the cider, take it back to the lab. First, I'm gonna freeze it though, so when the time is convenient, I can do a couple assays on it, measure the malic acid content and the tannin, stuff like that. This one is finished. I'm going to shut it down, let the pressure off. Yeah, so more than any other apple I've pressed today, this one came through the grate here. This is what we have left after pressing. This is going to be compost. You can see this stuff is pretty dry. It's not that good to eat. All the sweetness is gone. It's kind of like cardboard, actually. That's from several pressings. That's over 100 pounds worth of apples there, pressed down to that. Scale's tared already for that bucket, so 11.5 kilos. All right, so this is a blend of the different juices I got today from the different apples. This is actually golden russet that's being added to the juice.